This meeting is being recorded.
All right. Hello to everyone, and welcome to today's session. My name is Carlo Bobilas, and I'll be your moderator. Today's session will be presented by Product Manager Dario Cavallaro. But before I hand over the mic, I do have a few housekeeping items to cover about today's session. Today's session will be recorded and made available on demand. After the live session, we'll make sure to provide those details at the end. Also, we'd love to hear from you during today's presentation. If you are on WebEx and have a question for our speaker, please feel free to send it through our WebEx question and answer panel, where our wonderful panelists are ready to respond. For those tuning into our live stream, we thank you very much for joining in as well. Q&A is limited to those via WebEx. However, we will have a post-event Q&A thread over on the Cisco Learning Network community, where you can post any follow-up questions. So without any further ado, I'd like to kick things off by welcoming our presenter. Dario, over to you.
Thank you very much, Carlo. And hello, everybody. Welcome to this presentation over what we did in our XDR product. So it's about, as you can see from the slides, it's about the analytics sensor, or the old name ONA, also known as ONA. We have released a new version, and we wanted to let everybody know about this new version and what it meant. For those of you that are not familiar with XDR, we have a few slides just to introduce you to the concepts that XDR delivers, to make sure that we understand what we're talking about, right? So the first thing to understand is that XDR, Cisco's XDR, is a platform that will that delivers correlation capabilities on detections to make sure that our SOC analysts or SOC analysts that use the product can optimize their work and have as much as possible done through the product. What do I mean with that? When it comes to Cisco XDR, when it comes to the XDR world, you can have different implementations, and one concept that Cisco's keeping dear to its heart is the capability of ingesting as much telemetry as possible. This goes from raw net flow to detections or signals from other products like EDR, firewalls, and many more, email security, etc., etc. So when it comes to all those products playing together, obviously the correlation of those signals becomes extremely difficult, because they all talk in different languages. They all mean different things when they generate a detection, and making it an understandable incident from all those various signals is normally a very hard task, and that's where Cisco XDR helps. On top of that, on top of the detection, obviously part of the name is also response, and the response capabilities that XDR has are very extensive. You can go from one specific action with one integration to a whole range of workflows that touch multiple products. And so having those capabilities and that flexibility included in the product means that a lot of manual work gets automated. So how do we do the correlation, and what type of data do we correlate? I mentioned email and EDR. The list is quite long, but this is just an extraction of what Cisco XDR supports. It supports different types of telemetries. It goes from raw net flow to events flagged by other detection other products that can do detections. And then there is a process that we call auto-enrichment, which helps with enriching those incidents by asking information to all those integrated products automatically. It also helps in generating context, like user context, device context, trying to identify where an alarm is generated by different products from the same host is something that has always been historically problematic, and XDR has the objective also to help on that in that context as well. And then the response capabilities, as I mentioned, and we go from one simple action on integrated products to workflows that could or could not include code. So the response part is very flexible and can be integrated in multiple ways with industry standard tools like webhooks and HTTP endpoints and stuff like that. So this gives you a view of what XDR is. And when we talk about the ONA or the analytics sensor, we are talking about a specific part of the XDR, which is the collection, generically speaking, is a collection of net flow telemetry, and quite often used also for ICE telemetry as well. So the network part, or the NDR part, that is part of the XDR world. Sorry, way too many acronyms. NDR, Network Detection and Response, XDR, Extended Detection and Response. So the NDR part is powered through the analytics sensor or through Cisco telemetry broker. Both have different uses and different features, but in essence, it allows net flow and firewall logs to be uploaded to Cisco, or a part of the firewall logs to be uploaded to Cisco XDR for additional processing. And so we see those as connecting points for telemetry to be collected from on-prem devices up to the cloud. Obviously, XDR delivers the NDR aspect of it through integrating directly with cloud platforms like AWS, Google Cloud, or Azure. This doesn't require an agent. The part that requires an agent is the on-prem part, wherever the direct integration is missing. I'm saying it because the Cat9 case, as an example, have a built-in integration with Cisco XDR. This is thanks to the legacy that a product that was included in Cisco XDR is still functioning, and that part is the secure cloud analytics. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's a product that was delivering NDR capabilities through a SaaS platform that was included into Cisco XDR. So what does it mean, upgrading the ONA? As most of you have understood, this is an on-prem appliance that is deployed by customers that have that are leveraging the NDR part of Cisco XDR, and it was based on open source software. Well, it is still based on open source software. The older version was based on Ubuntu 20.04, and as some of you might know, Ubuntu 20.04 will run out of security updates in April 2025. In order to keep our customers secure, we have delivered a new version that is based on Ubuntu 24.04, which is the latest LTS, and it gives us roughly 4.5 years from now for security updates. It gives us 5 years from when 24.04 was released, obviously as per policy. So this means that any customer that is running an older version of the ONA or the analytics sensor, two names, same thing, will have to upgrade to 5.1.3. So what does upgrade means? So we are lucky in that we have options, and so the first option, the suggested option, is obviously to migrate to CTB. For those customers that that have entitlements on Cisco telemetry broker, we suggest to use their entitlement and adopt telemetry broker as their on-prem sensor. The reason being is that we are looking at telemetry broker as one of the main tools, if not the main tool, the main product to transport telemetry, transport and transform telemetry. And so in order to future-proof your deployment, we highly suggest to adopt and use Cisco telemetry broker if you have already entitlements. For those customers that don't have entitlements on telemetry broker, the ONA upgrade means that a new ONA sensor needs to be deployed. There is no in-place upgrade, or at least no supported in-place upgrade. We suggest to deploy a new appliance and migrate settings on the new appliance, possibly move over the old IP address so on the new appliance, so that all the network equipment that was configured to export NetFlow to the new appliance don't need to be reconfigured. And the last possibility, not suggested, but some customers might have an environment that might require so. Ubuntu offers extended cover for 20.04 that will make security upgrades applicable to 20.04 up until April 2030. There is something known to everybody, public. Obviously, it's out there. We have to mention it. But if you have the possibility to migrate to the newer appliance, we highly suggest to do so, or to telemetry broker. So some of you might have noticed some communications coming in. I included everything that is planned or was done already in this communication timeline to make sure we all know what is happening. So we have published a new ISO in November 2024. Towards the end of November, we have started sending notifications to portal admins in December 2024. In January 2025, we will be sending a second notification. If some of you are in touch with some of the customer success representatives, you will hear from them, and you will see notes on the ONA upgrade. And then we have enabled in-product notifications, and we obviously are running this webinar as well. And we will keep communicating, and we'll keep in-product notifications on active as long as we can to make sure everybody is aware of this migration. Obviously, we are aware of a short timeline to do the migration, so we have enabled as many channels as possible to make sure everybody's aware of the incoming end of security upgrades available from Ubuntu. What in product notifications means, obviously, we have added required information on which appliance is running all the versions of the software, and we have updated our installation page to make sure we have all the guidance we need available for our customers. So what's the difference between the telemetry broker and the XDR analytics sensor or the ONA? This is a common question that we get and want to make sure we answer this. So the first thing to keep in mind is the ONA is based on open source software. It obviously gets through a rigorous testing and security checks before it gets released, but it is not meant for big environments where you want to centralize telemetry. The ONA is a purpose-built appliance that does what it does, or in other words, does the upload of data to supported data to XDR and helps with on-prem notifications, specifically syslog and SNMP, and also has a nice integration module. While Cisco Telemetry Broker has a wider scope of helping with centralizing telemetry processing, brokering, and transformation. In this case, the telemetry we talk about is NetFlow transformed to XDR telemetry, which is in JSON format. In terms of scalability, obviously, Telemetry Broker or CTB can support up to 300K FPS per appliance. So it's quite a powerful appliance that scales well in large environments. It has a centralized management platform separate from XDR today. We're working to have an XDR managed CTB in the future, but it can handle HA configurations. It can handle clustering. So it's a truly enterprise solution for telemetry handling. Obviously, in the case of the ONA, if you have requirements that go beyond its capability, you typically deploy new appliances. The ONA integrates specifically with Cisco XDR, where Telemetry Broker helps you cover Cisco, the whole Cisco ecosystem and beyond for those systems that obviously I understand as an example, NetFlow or standard syslog. So the ONA, unfortunately, is affected by the end of support of Ubuntu 20.04, while CTB is fully supported. Last version 2.2 was released relatively recently, and the new version is being developed right now. We don't expect new versions of the ONA while we don't have a planned end of life of Cisco Telemetry Broker yet. And these are just a few of the points that I wanted to highlight to make sure everything is clear. So a few useful links. There's a CTB documentation, obviously. There's the ONA documentation and the XDR documentation. They all help with answering some of the very frequent questions. and hopefully this information is useful for you all. I'm gonna move now to the question and answers and try to answer some of the questions live. And so I'm gonna open the Q&A panel. So we used to support installing ONA on ARM systems. Given increasing footprint of ARM in the data center, will we reintroduce ARM support? We might if there is enough requests from our customers. Right now, over 90% of our customers are x86 based. And most of the hypervisors that we see out there, KVM, VMware, they all work on x86. So that's what we see. But we are open to obviously requests from the market. Why are we refusing to support customers upgrading their ONAs in place? It's a supportability issue. Operating system support of an open source operating system is provided through the provider channel, and if that has any problem, obviously there are a number of reasons that could fail. So it's mainly supportability. New deployments are much cleaner, and it makes sure they run only the software we support. And by the way, if you want to do an in-place upgrade, remove software, do an in-place upgrade, and reinstall with a new version, that is possible as well. Making sure that the upgrade of the operating system is something separate from the upgrade of the software is what is the biggest concern here. I don't see any other. Oh, I see a few questions on the chat panel. Could ONA and XDR work with artificial intelligence solutions? That's a very generic question, and I don't know what this means, but Eduardo, if you want to, or Afonso, sorry, if you want to reach out and in private, I'm happy to pass you my email address, and we can have a discussion around what this question is about. And another question is, I guess, is CTB similar to Splunk, or is XDR similar to Splunk? I don't know. It's missing the context there. Splunk is a CM with the enterprise security module. It has a security-focused implementation of a CM, but XDR is focused and targeted for resolving or receiving and correlating security events that are coming from other products, and help the SOC with the basic correlation that can be automated. The CM obviously is targeted for, so the typical customer size or customer implementation of Cisco XDR is specifically targeted to help those type of customers, where those type of customers that don't have bandwidth to go and customize as much as possible wherever the Splunk has a wide range of customization options and a lot more knobs to turn to make it work as good as possible for specific customers that have obviously specific requirements. So in other words, Cisco XDR and Splunk might be ingesting similar telemetry, but they provide different outcomes for different customers. Hope that answers all the questions. I don't see many other questions. Thank you, everybody, for your time. And if there are any other questions, please feel free to get in touch.
Thank you very
Carlo?
much, Dario. Yeah,
Thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah, great presentation and overview. Again, if you have a question, feel free to go and put it in the chat. If not, or I'm sorry, the question and answer panel or chat, that's fine. But I've also placed a link to the post-event discussion thread where you can continue the conversation over on the Cisco Learning Network. I've also placed the links that Dario has mentioned or has displayed in the chat, so definitely do bookmark those and take the time to go ahead and review them. And then the last link I want to mention is the recording. So from today's video, it will be available about 3 to 5 business days on that page over on the Cisco Learning Network. Dario, is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up?
The only thing I'd love to say is to make sure to open attack case in case you run into problems with the upgrade or deployment. Our teams are well equipped and ready to help in case you end up into a problem. Yeah, if there's anything else, I am happy to help as well. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks again, Dario. Thank you to our panelists and the whole team for bringing your knowledge to the Cisco community. For even more tutorials, demonstrations, and future events, please do visit the Cisco Learning Network. Your feedback is important, and at this time, you'll be directed to a survey. So we would appreciate it if you take time to participate. Once again, we thank everyone for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Have a great day.